Hi everyone, my name is King Ivy, and this is a workshop covering how to perform marketing analytics. So the data set that you have is this marketing analytics spreadsheet. Let's just open it up. Within this spreadsheet, you have all the customers that they've currently marketed to, including the number of kilometers to the nearest store, the size of the organization, industry, and whether or not they were successfully converted. And then for all the successfully converted customers, you have their supply revenue, their cost of sales related to those supplies, their furniture sales, and then their cost of sales, of their furniture sales. So essentially, this is a supply and furniture company. And as well, you have a little bit of details around their customer segments, like what are their market limits. So that's interesting. So you've been asked to perform analytics on the marketing data for office supplies and furniture Inc. to determine if the company should be more granular on who they should market to. The company has struggled finding value in its marketing. The company spends about $10 per transaction when it markets and currently does no research on its customers, besides the information that's collected. So, in terms of requirements, determine who the organization should market to based on the following. What is the success rate for each customer segment? So the customer segments are here. What customer segments are the most profitable per marketing transaction? So, what is the change in profitability if they had implemented your model? What other details would help with your analysis? So that's more of an open-ended question. So I've already imported the data, so let's get started. Let's get started on essentially 1A. What is the success rate for each customer segment? So you'll see that when we have in our data, you'll see they have like number of kilometers here, but the way they've segmented here is number of kilometers close to the store, and they've had it groups. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to create a new field, and we're going to call it distance bracket, and we're going to make it a virtual character, and we'll make it 50. And essentially we're going to say if a kilometer is less than 25, then make it 0 to 25 kilometers. And then we'll do the same thing essentially, except we'll make it less than 50, I believe, the next bracket, which is more than 26, or more than 26, and less than 50 kilometers. So put a bracket there. And then the last alternative is that it's greater than 50 kilometers. So that's good. Now we have that distance bracket. And now what we need to do is the challenge that we're going to have is these converted customers are either yes or no, but we want to get to success rate. So when we summarize, we actually want to summarize a score. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go success rate score, and that's essentially going to be if converted customer equals yes, then 1, otherwise 0. And then we're going to go to, then we're basically going to summarize on the way they've done is industry, size of the organization, and then the distance bracket. And we're going to take the score, we're going to just take a summarize, and we're going to call this marketing success rate. Success. So now we have like the number of successes there are relative to the number of records for each thing. So we're going to create a new field. We're going to call it success rate. We're going to do that, and we're going to go the success rate score divided by the number of records times 100, just to make it percentage easier to read. And then what you find here is that they're only really successful in a few, in 14 out of 47 possible scenarios. So that's interesting. Now what we want to do next is, now we've tackled that. So their most successful, it seems to be technology, 500 to 2,500 employees, between 0 and 25 and 26 to 50. So essentially within 50 kilometers. So that's good. Pretty high success rate. Even these ones are pretty high. So now what we're going to do is, now we're going to determine what are the most profitable customers per segment. So first thing we want to do is actually pull over the sales data here. So we're going to go to join, and we're going to go customer cost of sales, and we want the revenue, the cost of sales, and cost of sales on the primary, and we're going to call this marketing cost with sales details. Oh, I forgot to indicate the matching key, so in this case, transaction number. I'm actually going to change the name here to make it consistent. Sales. So it is going to look a little bit different, but not a problem. And now we also want to include, we actually want to include one more field, and this is going to be marketing costs. Marketing costs. So if you remember back to the case facts, it costs $10 per transaction. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go 10 times the number of records. Oh, I don't think I'm in the. Oh no, I can just. I should just add marketing cost and just put 10. I realize that we haven't summarized yet. So there you go, $10 per transaction. And now we're going to summarize. We're going to summarize based off the same criteria: industry, size of organization, and distance bracket. And we are going to, in theory, we could summarize this all, but let's put, let's go supply revenue, cost sales, marketing costs. There you go. And now we can say marketing costs with sales details. Sorry, this name might be too long, but we'll take a look. And now what we're going to do is we are going to create a new field, and we're going to call it profit. In theory, we could have created profit beforehand, and then did the calculation, but this works as well. The advantage of doing the other one is that you can see like who are your most profitable customers, or what are the most profitable transactions, but not that big a deal. So basically take the sales less the cost of sales and less the marketing cost. And then we're going to go one more, which is going to be, let's just change this to 2 decimal places. And then we're going to add one more field, which is profit per transaction, which is essentially going to be the profit divided by the number of records. So these are the number of transactions per bucket. And then actually, if we want to be a little bit more complete, we can actually join the customer success rate, and then join it based off of industry, size of the organization, distance bracket, and then we can include the success rate. So we can see we only actually have a few profitable customer segments, and then you'll see that even though we have a success rate on some of these, particularly within other technology manufacturing, they actually have a negative profit per transaction. So just be a little bit careful there. So that's interesting. So we've tackled 1B, and now what is the change in profitability if we had implemented, if they had implemented your model? So now what we want to do is we essentially want to figure out how can we change this. So we know that, for example, that according to this customer segment, there's only a certain number of organizations we can actually market to. So let's do this. Join database, not that great a name, so probably we should have changed it, but not a problem. Let's change it here. And then we want to join it based off industry, size of the organization, and then number of kilometers. And then essentially what we want to do is just take this number of organizations, and then we're going to call this profitability recalculation. Just to make this a little bit cleaner, we're actually not going to take everything. We'll just take the distance bracket and profitability per transaction and the success rate. Let's bracket the industry, size of organization, distance bracket. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, so we know that there were originally 5,912 transactions. So essentially we want to calculate what's our profitability. Really, we just want to calculate, we do a recalculation of these 9, given their market size. And so actually the easy way to determine this is whether or not we need to do anything further is we can do extraction. We can say if profit per transaction is greater than 0, then we'll go profitable customers. And then what we'll see here, if we run field statistics, what we'll see here is that we actually have 4,278. So really, this is less than what we originally marketed, so we don't need to do any constraint analysis. We just need to basically take the profit per transaction versus the number of organizations that exist in the industry. It could have got a little bit more complicated. We would have had to break each of them down, do a little columns, and add it up later. But let's go profit forecast, or like recalculated. And essentially that's going to be profit per transaction times number of organizations. And if we run field statistics, what we'll see here is that the profitability is now 134,000. And if we actually go to, I believe, this one right here, and we take the profit, control total of the profit, we'll see that the profit before was only 1,135 and 50 cents. So now we've seen the profitability increase about 100-fold because we were able to focus our marketing on certain customers in certain regions. And then what we could also do is, and this is not really a requirement, but we could go successful but unprofitable customers. And that's going to be where the success rate is greater than 0 and the profit per transaction is less than 0. So what this will tell us is that these were where we were able to successfully market to these organizations, but what we're selling to them is just not profitable. So if we could sell more to them, reduce our cost, reduce our marketing costs, then it'd be likely that we'd actually market to these customer segments. So very basic pretty simple marketing analytics, but you can see how if you could apply this to more detailed, more data, you can actually be able to perform analysis against your customers to actually understand who is a profitable customer and who is not a profitable customer. And it's more to go end to end. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.